In this video, we're going to explore 5 of the biggest unsolved mysteries and loose ends from the Mass Effect Trilogy. Keep watching to see it all. What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. Before we begin, you should know I have over 150 Mass Effect Trilogy videos on my channel, including hidden scenes, rare choices, lore videos, and guides. So if you want to see more Mass Effect, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Number 1. What's the deal with Haestrom's son? In Mass Effect 2, Tali and a small team of Quarians go to the planet of Haestrom to investigate strange activity regarding the planet's sun, Dolan. In recent years, the sun had become destabilized, and the Quarians predicted that it was headed towards an accelerated death with the possibility of prematurely becoming a red giant. Haestrom was formerly a Quarian colony, but has since fallen under control of the Geth, who pushed the Quarians out of the system during the Morning War 300 years earlier. Tali hinted that the instability of Dolan might be caused by dark energy, but the topic isn't explored much after that.
What did they get from our readings?
Damnedest things, just like they said. No way the sun on Haestrom should have been acting that way.
So that dark energy theory is right.
We can speak to Carl Rieger on the Migrant Fleet as well during Tali's trial, but he's basically like, "Hey Shepard, I'm just paid to shoot shit, not study reasons why stars blow up." This plot thread may have tied into the larger narrative at some point. Incorporating dark energy into the main story was something that BioWare considered, but eventually scrapped, according to Drew Karpyshyn, lead writer of the first 2 Mass Effect games. So this plot thread about dark energy and Haestrom's son was never fleshed out and remains a loose end in Mass Effect 3. We're forever left wondering what destabilized the Dolan star. Number 2. What happened to everyone on the Citadel at the end of Mass Effect 3? This is a topic I explored in a full video a few months ago, which I'll link in the description if you want to check that out. Near the end of Mass Effect 3, the Illusive Man accesses secrets from the Prothean VI and tips off the Reapers about the Crucible plans. The Reapers take the opportunity to seize the Citadel and move it to Earth in orbit over London. The Citadel is home to over 13 million people of all galactic races, but we never really learn what happens to all of them once the Reapers take the Citadel. As Shepard explores the station near the end of Priority Earth, we see piles of human remains, but the conversation with Anderson suggests these bodies were actually beamed up from Earth during the battle.
It's dark. There's human remains scattered.
Sounds familiar. I'm in a dark hallway. Reminds me of your description of the collector base.
Makes sense.
You think they're making a Reaper in here?
Sure. They round them up on Earth, then send the people up here to be processed.
Goddamn abomination.
So what happens to characters like Bailey, Arya T'Loak, Koliat Krios, and Kelly Chambers? This loose end is never wrapped up. Depending on your war asset score and which ending you choose, the Citadel may get blown apart when the Crucible detonates. But if you pick one of the endings where it is still intact, what happened to those millions of people? I like to think that the locals, perhaps with the help of Bailey and Arya T'Loak, organize a resistance against the Reapers once they seize control of the station. But this is really just my own headcanon fanfic at this point. We can speculate endlessly, but we'll never really know for sure because it isn't addressed in the game. Number 3. Was Exogeni a Cerberus front organization? During Mass Effect 1, we encounter the Exogeni Corporation on the colony of Zoo's Hope. After setting up business on Pharos, Exogeni discovered the existence of an ancient plant life known as the Thorian. This creature had the ability to create and control thralls through the distribution of airborne spores. When a person inhaled these spores, the Thorian would be able to subtly control them by regulating their pain receptors. Resisting the Thorian's indoctrination would lead to extreme pain for the Thrall, as seen in characters like Ian Newstead and Phi Dan.
I won't!
In the Exogeni HQ, we can find a terminal with evidence that Exogeni sent Thorian test subjects to Cerberus. When we follow this lead, we discover an entire colony on Chaska has been turned into husks by this Cerberus group. There are no survivors, Cerberus or otherwise. Interestingly, there is no evidence of Thorian samples here either, but there are dragon's teeth, Reaper technology that is used to convert people into husks. In Mass Effect 2, we learned from Edie that Cerberus is an incredibly well-funded organization that generates income through several front businesses that produce billions of credits per year. This has always had me wondering, considering Exogeni's willingness to turn over dangerous thorium samples to a rogue Black Ops group, was Exogeni one of Cerberus's front businesses? Or were they just well paid by Cerberus, and so they were happy to give them some thorium samples? I think it would be really interesting if this were a Cerberus front business. We know so little about Cerberus's funding mechanisms, and it's not really explored by the writers, so I guess we'll never know for sure. But hey, it doesn't stop me from speculating. Number 4. Why did Wilson betray Cerberus? At the beginning of Mass Effect 2, after getting spaced by the Collectors, Shepard wakes up 2 years later on an operating table in a Cerberus lab. The facility is under attack by mechs, which someone in the station reprogrammed to eliminate Cerberus operatives. That man is Wilson, one of our tutorial squad mates. At the end of the mission, Miranda shoots him on sight and tells us that he betrayed us. So the big question for me has always been, why though? Wilson was one of the main players in Cerberus's Project Lazarus. After doubting the likelihood of success for the project, the elusive man gave control to Miranda, who brought Shepard back to life. Wilson was still involved in Project Lazarus and Cerberus though. So what motive could he possibly have to betray the group? Was he jealous of Miranda's success? Was this just a really wild way of putting in his 2 weeks' notice? We never find out because Miranda kills him, and dead men tell no tales. This was most likely just a plot contrivance to get Shepard into a firefight right at the beginning of the game. If the commander just woke up in this sterile piece of a hospital bed, it would make for a pretty boring introduction from a gameplay standpoint. It would also mean delaying the player's introduction to basic combat and gameplay mechanics. Still, I can't help but wonder, what was Wilson's endgame? Firing up the mechs was incredibly risky and stupid, considering they turned on him as well. And betraying Miranda was a bold move, the last one he ever made. Number 5. How did Shepard survive in the destroy ending of Mass Effect 3? If you have high enough war asset score and choose the destroy ending in Mass Effect 3, then you'll be treated to this brief cutscene of Commander Shepard taking a breath. It's an ending that a lot of us strive for because we want to see the commander live on. But when you start thinking about the situation, it begs the question, how on earth did Shepard survive the detonation of the Crucible? When you choose the destroy ending, the Citadel explodes in a massive ball of red energy, causing some of the arms to separate from the station. Shepard has survived some crazy things in the trilogy, including getting brought back from the dead in Mass Effect 2, but still, how would the commander survive that explosion? Now there are tons of videos about the endings to Mass Effect 3. To say that the game's conclusion was controversial is a massive understatement. There are lots of inconsistencies and things that don't make a lot of sense when you start thinking deeply about it. This is why fan theories like the indoctrination theory came into existence, to try to sort through all the BS. Now Shepard does perish in some versions of the destroy ending if your war asset score isn't high enough, but I'm specifically talking about the version where he does survive. Watching those cutscenes, I find it hard to believe that Shepard survived the blast on the Citadel, and the game just plows through it straight into the credits screen. I know it's basically supposed to be a quick Easter egg that leaves things open-ended, but I still want to know, how did Shepard survive, man? So there you have it, the 5 biggest unsolved mysteries of the Mass Effect Trilogy. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Mass Effect and RPG videos. I also live stream gameplay right here on this YouTube channel, so if you want to catch a stream of me playing Mass Effect or other RPGs, I go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.